Ah. Today on Free Field Trainer, shall I say tonight, since it's clearly of our midnight shift level people who are going to be coming onto this live stream, we are talking about Christmas gifts for cops. This video, we are going to be looking at all sorts of things that make awesome Christmas gifts for cops and give you high and low end options for each one of those things. We're also going to be doing our police equipment giveaway this month. I have two identical shield boxes. This video is sponsored by Shieldbox. Shieldbox is a subscription service where you can pay a fixed amount each month and have an opportunity to get coolest, newest tactical goodness gear worth more or less, normally a whole lot more than $50, which is what the subscription is, approximately every month delivered to you. So if you are a cop or security guard or other tactical cool person, and or you have one of those people on your shopping list, we're going to be talking about good things to get for them for Christmas, or more accurately, you're watching this looking for ideas for yourself, in which case, I'll give you good ideas of what you can get for yourself to stuff in the stockings so the kiddos think that Santa is still real. Shield box this month, I've got two identical shield boxes. So one we're going to give away here on the live stream, and another one we're going to give away in the comment section of this video when it goes live up on YouTube. So if you're watching right now, stick around to the end, and we're going to give away one of the shield boxes and talk about what's in shield box for this particular month that I got two for. And if you are watching this not live, you still have an opportunity to win a shield box by putting things down in the comments and liking and subscribing and all of that. So stick around for that, and we'll explain how all that works. So I have got several categories here of things in a low and a high end of protection, or a low and a high end of capability, or a low and a high end of price. And all of them are kind of, you can pick one end or the other. So if you have a lot of money to spend on a Christmas gift for a cop or for yourself, or not a lot of money to spend for a Christmas gift for a cop or yourself, we're going to talk about both of those ends. So we're going to start off with protective stuff. I get lots of questions from people of, my dad or brother or sister or whatever, or I need something to protect my hands or my chest or my whatever. What is there out there in an XYZ dollar amount? Here's the problem I have. Here's the area that I work, things like that. So we're going to talk about the low and the high end of buying extra protective stuff for somebody as a Christmas gift. At the high end, if they're already a cop or security guard, and they already have a vest, this one here is from Safe Life Defense, you can get them a special threat plate. Now, the special threat plate that I use at work is Safe Life's FRAS, and FRAS is a 10 by 12 plate that is thinner than ceramic and lighter than ceramic. It is a little thicker than steel, but a whole lot lighter than steel, and it is way thinner than a polyethylene plate. It gives me kind of a nice in-between ground that stops M193, M855, both out of 16-inch barrels. So most of your 5.56 your 7.62 by 39, and handgun rounds, when I took this out and shot it, were just bouncing off one of these plates. So that's a really cool way, but these are expensive. You're talking a significant amount of money. Right now, I think they're running a sale on this. There's going to be links and coupon codes to all the stuff that I talk about down in the description. If you use any of those, I make a little bit of money, but it doesn't matter which one you use or where you get it from. And as usual, you should always shop around and find out where your best price is for any of this stuff. Several other companies also make special threat plates in similar veins, but none of them are flexible. So that makes this one uniquely comfortable to wear on your 16-hour shift, like I had to do yesterday. Normally, I would like to do these during the day, but my schedule's been a little messed up thanks to Christmas. On the flip side of it, what if you don't have a lot of money, but you are worried about that special tactical person's safety in your life? Whether they're a cop or a security guard, we all need to have gloves. And gloves are an easy one where we can pick different ends of a protection spectrum and not spend way too much money. The most expensive protective gloves that you're going to get out there for cops or security guards are going to be somewhere around $100, and most of them are under 50. Here we're going to look at the $30 and $50 range. There's links, of course, to all of these down below as well. This is Safe Life Defense's gloves. These are an abrasion-resistant glove. They're very highly abrasion-resistant. What these do is they keep you cool without ripping holes in the gloves. They're not a cut resistant glove. They don't have impact resistance. What they're designed for is for you to be able to have something between your hand and the sharp or pokey things that you're playing with, or the abrasive things that you're playing with, especially for training in the summertime. These are great because the whole back is mesh and the whole front is an abrasion resistant suede, and they're not super expensive. Abrasion resistant gloves. These are a cut and impact resistant glove. This is from 221B Tactical. These are their commander gloves, and it doesn't look like it from most distances, but there's hard knuckle protection in these. There's finger protection on the ends of them, and they're also a cut resistant glove. They're also, they do the touchscreen thing, but that's more of a gimmick in my perspective. Most of the time, I don't want to touch the screen of my computer or of my phone with the same gloves that I'm using to touch sticky people. So that's not a huge concern for me. But these are a really protective glove, and I think they're one of the only, if not the only company that's making a glove that is both cut resistant and has impact resistant components to it. So that's a really interesting thing, and they're not super expensive either. You can get them in a variety of colors. I think they're green and desert tan and black, and there might be some other colors floating around out there. And again, links and all of that down below for these. Moving on from there, who couldn't use a knife? I've always talked about with the subscription boxes that I get sent here for review. If a subscription box sends me a flashlight or a knife in the box, it's like a mid-tier flashlight or knife, that's always a big positive thing for me, and I think most people feel like they're getting their money's worth out of it if they get a good knife. Here are two examples of two excellent knives for cops at two parallel capability levels, but at opposite ends of the expense spectrum. This is the Police Model Spyderco. You've seen it before on the channel. Sorry about the shakiness. This is just my phone on a tripod we're live streaming off of here. This is the Police Model Spyderco full serrated. It is extremely thin, extremely sharp. It is made in Sekai City, Japan. It's VG10 steel. It's an awesome, awesome knife that I've had for a long time. You see there's a significant amount of wear on this. I've actually sent this one back to the factory to be resharpened once, and it took me about 5 years of pretty good use to get it back down to the point where it needed to be sent back in to be sharpened again. These serrations give you an amazing amount of cutting capability with this knife. It's one of the few knives that I still feel is a pretty viable weapon, really, on duty that you can have as a folding knife. There's a little indent on the back here. This is so that when you gorilla grip this knife, you're not going to end up hitting the mechanism to collapse it. And if you see on here, you look really close, you can see there's a significant amount of wear on this knife. I've had this thing for a really long time, and even though it's very expensive, the steel handle one is my favorite because it's thin and it feels like it's worth it. Because when I can be armed with nothing else, because I've eaten too many donuts this year and I'm trying to fit into my dress pants from 15 years ago, I can still slide this in my pocket no matter what and have it not look weird because it's so thin but still so capable. At the opposite end of the expense spectrum, but on the same end of the coolness spectrum, we have the Stack Gear Ausis. I'm pretty sure I got this in a shield box quite a while ago, and it's kind of made its way into my knife rotation. If I'm in an area where it doesn't matter how big the knife is, still living in and around the Chicagoland area, sometimes it's best to carry a very small, cheap knife. We've seen those on the channel before, but this is a fairly large knife, about a 4-inch blade on the Stack Gear Ausis. It's a flipper opening knife, and it only costs about $35-40 depending on when you buy it from them and where you get it at. I'm going to put a link to this down below as well. The flipper's pretty fast. It lines up really well. It's a liner lock on the inside, so see the lock mechanism. Watch it open up there. Liner lock mechanism in there. So you push it open, push it over to close the knife up. It centers up pretty good in the handle. The handles are G10 on the outside with steel liners, and the blade shape is very useful and very easy to sharpen. And if you're not going to have a super, super amazing high quality steel, it's great to have a steel that is really, really easy to sharpen. And this gives you that. It gives you a lot of things that you can use when you're on duty, whether you're a cop or security guard or a paramedic or just somebody that likes carrying a knife around. without it costing a lot of money. It also means that if you end up at a checkpoint somewhere where you can't carry this through and this is all you were carrying, if you have to throw it in the trash, you're only out $30 to $40 instead of 120 to 180 depending on what model. Something to think about. On the market in the last about 5 years, and I thought these were kind of a fad that would go away or a gimmicky type of thing that would disappear fairly quickly, or I would try to use and wouldn't really like, is personal lighting tools that hook to you and then shine light out in front of you without you having to hold a flashlight. We all know I love my handheld flashlights and my weapon-mounted lights, but somehow I've kind of fallen in love with this type of thing where I can have a light on me that gives me a little bit of an area light capability. There's 2 versions of these types of things from Guardian Angel Devices, which allows you to have a flashing warning light on your person. Right? This is the red in the back, white in the front model. It magnet mounts. If you've got the magnet already on your vest cover, which is the way I like to wear it at work, allows me to flip it around. I use it for an area light, for warning light. I really like being able to turn it on and have it just flashing in the back for when I'm directing traffic. It doesn't get in my eyes. I can see the cars that are in front of me and jump out of the way, hopefully, but from behind me, you've got a warning light. And I found that it's pretty effective in just trying to cross streets. These, however, are pretty expensive. Again, links and all that are down below. These are kind of expensive. You're looking $100 to $120 by the time you ship them. You can get the smaller, less capable version of it. There's fewer features on this, but it still does the basic warning light task. I have this one for going jogging. I know I don't look it, but I do go jogging in my neighborhood, and we don't have sidewalks here where I live anymore. So I have this on an armband that I can wear, especially in the summertime out jogging. It also can magnet mount to your uniform. If you have less money to spend on something like this, this still gives you that flashing warning light effect. Or if you don't have enough money for that, but you still want to have that front white light effect, there's a company called Nebo. And they sell these things. And this is a bar of LED, and it lights. It's got a couple different brightness settings as kind of an area light and a red flashing light, and then off. And I just got a brand new guy, a new rookie at work, and he had one of these just clipped to his uniform, and I didn't understand what he had it for until the first time we were searching cars, and he turned it on and had an area light, and it lit the entire interior of the car up. Kind of a cool, very cheap solution for that problem. I've also seen guys that will buy a cheaper handheld light and just clip it through their epaulette so that it shines down at what they're working on, but that also doesn't give you a warning light capability when you're directing traffic, and this does for like $35. Downside of this versus upside of this is a lot brighter than this thing is in its warning light capability. It's a lot more flexible. It comes in a bunch more colors, but the Guardian Angel is a lot more expensive. This is a lot cheaper. Other flip side of it is long term, this is chargeable. This takes alkaline batteries. Depending on which model you get, it's going to depend on which alkaline batteries it takes and how many of them. This takes 2 AA's, which is not a super expensive thing, but if you're using it all the time at work, they start adding up. Finally, we'll talk about with Christmas gifts for cops is medical. Medical is something that's come a really long way in the 16 years I've been on the job. For when we started, we were told not to use tourniquets or carry them at work because it was a liability issue. And today we're carrying med kits on our vests, which has made me go in a deep dive of how to best carry a med kit on my vest because we don't have them issued at work, but we're allowed to wear them. So originally I had a little 3x5 pouch by Maxpedition that's out of production. If you've watched my video on my police vest carrier or my duty belt vest carrier setup, you'll see that I have a little 3x5 Maxpedition, and then attached underneath it with just hair ties, I had a tourniquet. Windlass model was, I think it's a soft T wide. I have mounted underneath it. There's 2 companies that have come out with med kits that I think are worthy of looking at because of the 2 different methods that they attach and the 2 different methods by which they open so that you can get to the stuff when it's mounted onto your chest. So this one is from RTS Tactical, and it comes in a pouch where all sorts of stuff is built inside. You can just pull the red tab and open up, and everything's attached and splays open. So if this is mounted on your vest, grab the tab, pull it down, it pops open and you've got everything at your disposal. You can kind of look down and be able to get at the things that you need in the med kit. The downside of this is once you don't need the med kit anymore, you've got this thing flopping open on you, which isn't the easiest thing in the world to seal back up the same way. It can be done, but you know, when your heart is rating at 169 beats per minute, it might not be the easiest thing in the world to accomplish. The plus side of it is it comes with a lot of stuff for the price, so it's very cost effective. The downsides are that opening method allows you easy access, but also then harder to close back up. And some of the materials inside aren't of the highest quality, right? I would prefer, instead of a SWAT T for a tourniquet and a kit this size, I don't think there's any reason not to spice that up with a cat tourniquet or a soft T wide or any other windlass tourniquet or ratcheting tourniquet that's out there. I think is a better option than going with the SWAT T. I would probably, if I was going to use this on the street, I would spice this up with a North American Rescue cat tourniquet, whatever the newest generation of it is. And I think that could easily take the place of this. It would cost a little bit more, but it would add a lot more functionality to the kit, and I'd be a lot happier with it. But it does come with glow stick and a marker and chest seals and all sorts of other stuff that a lot of kits at a much higher price point don't have. Might be worth looking at. Buy this, add a cat tourniquet inside, still get it to seal up, and you've got something that's got a lot of different capability. The other end of the spectrum, and you can see the size difference of these, I'll put them next to each other. The other end of the spectrum with med kits is smaller, lighter med kit that has slightly less equipment inside. It's going to fit on your vest a lot easier. This one is from Allegiance Holsters. It's designed to mount like this. It's got clips that can feed through MOLLE, so you can mount it straight to your vest if you've got MOLLE on your vest, or you could clip this onto a belt. Also, if you look at the way this is designed with laser cuts on the back, this isn't Velcro. I wish it was. That would be kind of cool. It's designed so where you can slide it right through your belt as long as you have an 1 3/4 or thinner belt, or you can attach it with clips, or you can attach it with MOLLE, whatever your favorite method is to attach this on. And how it works is big Velcro opening, and then inside they have a pre-made vacuum seal pouch that's partially cut on both ends, so if you need the stuff that's inside the pouch, you rip it and open it up and all the stuff's in front of you. And then when you're done, you take what's left in the pouch and jam it back inside, close that puppy up. And because there's so much Velcro on here, if you're not 100% accurate with closing that thing up, it's still going to hold the vacuum seal pouch in place. Allegiance Holsters is also good with their pouches and med kits in that they allow you to either get a full run med kit with all of their stuff in it, or you can custom order for agency or company a med kit that's designed specifically for what you want. I had this one made up to be light and trim and using only the stuff that my department trains people how to use. So if somebody runs up to me with the med kit that is going on my vest, they are going to open it up and immediately recognize all of the equipment inside from training. And then on the bottom of the kit is a loop for attaching a tourniquet. So I'm going to put a North American Rescue tourniquet on the bottom and have this inside. And anybody from my agency that comes up to me hurt is going to know exactly what this stuff is. It's important to be able to hand off that type of equipment because that's how real life's going to go down. Is somebody's going to need it, and you're going to have a bunch of stuff that they've never seen before. And you know, in the heat of the moment, we're going to fall back to our level of training, not rise to the occasion. So throwing new equipment in might not be the best deal. But Allegiance Holsters allows you to pick what stuff is going inside the med kit, and then they make it fit inside the vacuum seal to go in the pouch. So that's kind of cool. If you're an individual looking for a med kit that has a low profile like that, I would just get their full-blown, it's got everything in it med kit, and then get another copy of the kit or the stuff inside so you can train with the same things that you're going to be carrying on the street, and then you have everything you could possibly need in the kit. So that is Christmas gifts for cops and security guards and other tactical people, and some of my ideas from the past year of things that have come out on the market or things that have been around for a while that I think would make good Christmas gifts. That if somebody gave me any of this stuff as a gift, I'd be like, that's pretty cool. Hey, a new rifle plate. Oh, new gloves. I wear out gloves like crazy. New lights, new knives, new med kit. I could always use all of that stuff. And if they already have a med kit that they like, taking this and attaching it to a duty bag is always going to be a positive in their life. They're going to feel safer and they're going to be more prepared in the environment that they're working in. So I'm going to go to comments and questions here in a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to go back to our sponsor here with Shieldbox. If you want a Christmas gift for a copper security guard or tactical cool guy in your life, Shieldbox is a great option. Inside this Shieldbox, this is one of the ones that I would have loved to get, is the AA Pro from ASP. It's a mid-level tactical light from a good company with pretty good metrics there to use as a duty light or a backup light to your larger or rechargeable duty light. It also comes with an emergency blanket. It's got an ASP thin blue line handcuff key. I don't know how many of these things I've lost over the years. It's got a single toothbrushing kit. I guess if you end up in more than 16 hours, you can have that. And then a Rescue Essentials March card. And all that comes in the box. And every month there's different stuff. We've got a set of ASP handcuffs in Shieldbox with one of their exoskeleton cases. These are super cool. I use these at work all the time. I've gotten gloves in the Shieldbox. I've gotten police patches in the Shieldbox, all sorts of cool stuff. It's an interesting way to try new interesting things. I've always been really interested with their boxes that have new ways of ingesting caffeine in them. So I'm going to take a drink of water here. If you want to win this Shieldbox, I have two of them. One of them, when this video goes live, so if you are watching it not live right now on YouTube, down in the comments down below, tell me what thing you would like most from this stack of stuff that we talked about today. And next giveaway, I will cut them all out and put them into a box, and we will draw out a winner to win this Shieldbox. We're going to do a live giveaway here in a second, and then I'm going to be taking some comments and questions and signing off. So stick around with us for all that. I'll pull you in close here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping through on the live stream. I appreciate it. Voice is starting to get hoarse after a 50-hour week with a trainee in the car. It's been interesting. I'm sorry I haven't been putting out videos as much as I normally do, but I've had a lot of work to do at the day job. So this has had to take a back seat, and I'm sorry for that. I've got a video about backpack armor panels that I'm working on right now. I actually have to go in my backyard and shoot some backpack armor panels tomorrow to get some B-roll for that. All the A-roll is already done. It'll be out on Patreon in a little bit. The Shieldbox. How do we want to give away the Shieldbox? I'm down at the bottom of the stream here. So how are we giving the Shieldbox away? How do you guys want to pick it? Give me some ideas. I didn't look up any case law to do a case law giveaway tonight. And just making somebody pick Terry versus Ohio for the 287th time is not really productive in my book. So let's give away the Shieldbox, and then I can get somebody to email me so that I can ship this thing out while I'm still off work. Because once I go back to work this month, it's going to be like 60, 80-hour weeks again, and I don't have the time or inclination to make it to the mailbox to ship it out after that. So I want to get this, get somebody winning it, and get it shipped out to them, and then they can have it as a Christmas gift from me. Use the Guardian Angel tonight, noon to 8 p.m. shift, deer hit by a car. Yeah, they're great. I use mine all the time. Literally, this is the one off of my vest cover at work. Absolutely love it. I also have a red and blue one that I'll switch out if I'm working afternoons. But if I'm on midnights, the white and red one is my way to do it. What do we want to do to give away the Shieldbox? Let's see if the first person that commented is still here. Let's see. Who's the first person that commented? Gaming with Zeke said, "Hey, Tommy." Gaming with Zeke, are you still here? Is Gaming with Zeke still here? If you are, Comment down there, because if you're still here, you just won yourself a shield box. Gaming with Zeke, you still here? You still on the live stream? Leave me a comment. Be like, hey, I'm here. And we'll send it to you. You still there? Let's give him a minute to come back on. Harry Kasburian says, I might end up buying the Frass plates from Safe Life for my carrier. Having the heavy steel plates is doing a number on my back and shoulders. Oh, Gaming with Zeke is here. Gaming with Zeke, email me at freefieldtraining@gmail.com or go over to my Instagram, Tommy_freefieldtraining, and send me a DM over there with your address, and I will get it out to you. All right? Email me right now. Like, sign off the live stream. Email me right now or go over to my Instagram and DM me over there, and we'll get it shipped out to you. I'll have my wife do it tomorrow while the kids are picking up the Christmas tree for me. So if you're looking for Frass for a carrier, right? So this is a plate, a Frass plate, that is basically a special threat plate. It's not full level 3 rated. So while the independent testing that I've done says it'll stop 308, there's no guarantee of the back face deformation with 308 with this. They also make a full level 3. It's in my carrier, actually. You can see how much effort I put into the getting dressed for this. I put a carrier on and I still have my Christmas pants on. My plate carrier, though, like just plates in the carrier, this has Frass full level 3 in it. And the difference between them is that the full level 3 Frass is a slight bit heavier and a slight bit thicker and a little bit less flexible. It still gives you a lot more comfort than having a ceramic plate in, and it gives you most of the benefits inside the United States, right? So you're still stopping M193, M855. You're still stopping 762x54R and 308. It's the same coverage area, so this is the level 3. This is the normal Frass. It's thicker. Level 3. It still flexes, right? This might not be the best test in the world because this one isn't as broken in as this one. This is a lot more flexible, and it's thinner, and it's lighter. But they're both really good options. If you're thinking about just putting in a carrier and wearing it independent, I would get the standalone level 3. I really like in my carrier. I put this in an Agilite K19. You've seen it in other videos here before. I've given a couple of these away to buddies that are on the SWAT team. And when I got the opportunity to snag one from Agilite, just for me to use and not to give to somebody else and then make a video with, I jumped at it. This is their K19 with the full Frass, the full level 3 Frass plate, and I really like it. I use this for training and stuff. Great carrier, great plates. That's what I would recommend just for a carrier. And I think they make side panels for it as well. You may have to contact them to see if you can get Frass side panels. But the ability of it to flex a little bit means that if you're, let's say, more uniquely shaped like me, it's a lot more comfortable. You know, you don't have to be built like a little boy in order for the plates to fit the shape of your chest. Armageddon put $10 in the Donut Fund and said, buy yourself a cup of coffee, Tommy, maybe a gallon of gas. I need the coffee more. Once I get to work, I probably have a Corolla, so a gallon of gas should get me about 37 miles. That's almost all the way to work in a day, but $10 would definitely buy me my newest Starbucks. They have a new one, a new coffee. It's a sugar cookie almond milk latte, which sounds terrible, but it's delicious. And when you work 16-hour days on the regular, you get a lot more flexible with what you drink with coffee. And it's absolutely delicious. Even with the almond milk, I would be like, I don't know, almond milk, that seems a little frou-frou. No, it's really good. Henry Kashbirian, again, talking about the plates. It's the same gentleman, said, being in California, I'm definitely going to get some. The environment out here has gone to hell in a handbasket. I hear you. We're seeing more fully automatic rifles showing up on homicide scenes lately, which is concerning to say the least. And a lot of people that I work with have started putting plates in their vest, and depending on how much money they want to put into it, I am blessed in that I have a significant number of different types of rifle plates that I can lend them to try out when they say they want to try carrying rifle plates in their vest. So I actually have a couple guys that I have to bring plates in for next week so that they can shove them into their vest carrier and see which one they like the best. It's kind of a matter with rifle plates of whether you want to carry less weight, have more thickness sticking out from the front of you, or have heavier weight and it's cheaper, and know what your budget is. So that's been kind of a project for a lot of people lately, and it's nice to be in a financial situation where, something like this is an option. And it isn't an option for everybody. Galaxy Storm says, how do you handle 16-hour days, handle family responsibilities and personal goals? Well, my personal goal is to be retired. So I'm handling that by having a little side business here where I deal with all of these companies and with all of you and ad revenue and all of that. And hopefully at some stage that gets me the financial ability to retire after 20 years and then go work at a Boy Scout camp again, which is kind of my goal. I miss doing that, spending my summers helping kids build campfires instead of running after idiots with nickel bags, getting shot at and showing up to homicide scenes. And as far as family responsibilities, well, I am blessed in that my wife can stay home with the kids. And I also have my mom and her husband living in my house with me. And so all I need to do and worry about is making money and keeping the financial engine of the house going. So my work goals, I solve those with caffeine. And you just, if you're a man and you got a family to take care of, you do what you have to do to make that financial engine keep roaring so that you can take care of all the people in your life. And I think at the end of a man's life, that's kind of how most people judge him. Think back about your grandparents, your grandma and grandpa, and people don't remember how many hours grandpa worked. They remember that, grandpa kept a roof over dad's head or the whole family's head, or grandpa used to help them fix their car, or grandpa went camping with them, or, grandpa was good with his hands, or grandpa was good with people, or whatever else. People don't worry about how many hours you worked or what type of car you drove. So I drive a crappy car and I invest in my family. And I spend the time I need to spend at work and make sure everything else gets taken care of by other people. Kind of blessed in that regard, and that I have that situation where I can do that. What do I think about lever lock cuffs? Supernowski says, what do you think about lever lock cuffs? Not sure you covered that in a previous video. I don't have a lot of experience with them. Nobody seems to have them here, and I don't see them in retail stores here. So it's not something I can just go play with. Maybe next time I go to a trade show, I'll have to head over to a Smith & Wesson booth or to the Galls booth and see if I can play with them and see what I think of them. I've never used them, to be honest with you, and they have been around for a while. I probably should. Gaming with Zeke says, Tommy, when do you work out? Before shift or after shift, and how long do you work out? What kind of workouts do you do? So here's my thing, is that I'm pushing 40, right? Pushing it hard too. So nobody thinks that I'm an Instagram fitness model. This is all angles on this video. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I look like. This isn't exactly an aspirational physique here, right? All I've got going for me is that I'm approximately as strong as a gorilla, and the way that I do that is that about once a week I manage to get outside and jog, so that way I don't gas out completely in a fight, or if I have to run after somebody, normally running after a rookie who's running after somebody because I don't like running. And when I'm at work, we get a half-hour paid lunch. And we also have a gym in the basement. And we're allowed to go downstairs and work out on our lunch. And I do. Every day, whether I want to or not. I go work out on my lunch. I lift heavy things. And that has allowed me to stay very, very strong all the way up to just touching 40. And I'm not saying that that's what you should aspire to, but it is what I do to stay in good enough shape where I can do this job, hopefully well into my 40s, without breaking my back or pulling my elbow or twisting my shoulder out of the socket or something silly like that. And when you're fighting with 300-pound 19-year-olds, that's quite a thing. All right, we're going on 35 minutes, and if I want anybody to watch this video, I should probably wrap it up. Let's see if anybody else has got long questions up here that we didn't cover. Gaming with Zeke says, I got the Guardian Angel device after I was hit by a car at work while directing traffic. Truly a worthy investment. Well, you know what, Gaming with Zeke? I'll tell you what, man. If you're in that much danger when you're at work, I don't know what color this Guardian Angel Mini is, but I'm throwing it in the box too. You'll get that too. Because I've got 4 of them, and although they're awesome, I can only clip so many of them to myself and make it worthwhile having them around or doing videos with them and stuff. So if you got hit by a car before and bought a Guardian Angel device, you've got the full-size one. There's a mini, so when you want to go jogging or you want to mount it to your car, you lose the full-size one, you got a spare. Hopefully that helps you out. I'm going to leave that in the box, get that shipped out to you tomorrow. Hopefully you did actually email me. MS says they're about to start the police department. They already did the academy. What's the greatest piece of advice I could get to somebody who's brand new in law enforcement? It's the same advice I give everybody on their first few days. Keep your mouth shut, your eyes and ears open, and be coachable. You are going to be learning something that's counterintuitive to most people. And in order to learn it, you're going to have to learn several different ways of doing it and then find the one that works for you. There is no flow chart for law enforcement. There's no flow chart for police work. Maybe there isn't a jail. I don't know. I don't work a lot in jails or in corrections, but in police work, things get screwed up. They go sideways on us really fast, and we end up kind of having to work our way back toward the way things are supposed to be. Things don't generally start off the way we trained them, right? Like the training shows us this is the ideal felony stop, and when you show up to the felony stop, instead of showing up behind the first officer that was pulling the car up, you're going to end up coming from the other side, and you're going to stop and be like, oh crap, I'm staring at the other guy's guns. You're going to have to run around the outside to get to them, or drive over lawns, or go around the block, or figure out a way to fix it. And you're going to have to be flexible to fix it like that. Remember, the job's not for everybody. The lifestyle isn't for everybody. So do the best you can. Keep your eyes and ears open. Keep your mouth shut. And be coachable. When people say, hey, maybe try this way, try that way. At least once. Try that way. It might work out better for you. All right. Go down to the bottom, see if anybody has any new stuff. Supernowski says Handcuff Warehouse has them in stock. I've heard good things about them. In general, if I find some lever lock handcuffs, which I'm sure what he's talking about, I'll see. Maybe I'll get a pair and I'll do another comparison video. I do have a boatload of different handcuffs, and new ones have come out. Asp's handcuffs have completely changed since I did that video. A quick word asks, and here we'll take the final one because we're going up on 40 minutes. If you've fallen behind in life, pushing 30, do you have any advice for getting on track, like financially, socially, etc.? Is it too late? All right. Oh, you want me to be your life coach? I don't know that I'm in the ideal situation to be anyone's life coach. But let me give you some perspective. If you're 30, how long do you intend on living? 60? You're halfway through. If you were halfway through a road race and you were getting tired, would you give up? Halfway through. You're halfway, right? If you were drilling a hole in something you had to drill by hand, when you got halfway through, you'd be kind of invigorated to get the rest of the way through, right? What if you had half of your time left? You had a certain amount of time to do a road race, and you're only a quarter of the way through, and you need to get all the way through. Well, do you give up or do you double down? Well, that's a matter of your perspective and how much you want it. But you're not halfway through. Most people don't die at 60. Let's say you're going to do your ideal. You're saying, I'm going to die old age, 90. You're only a third of the way through life and you're talking about giving up. How do you get on track? If you're 30 and you don't have a high school diploma or GED, it's not too late to get a high school diploma or GED. It's not too late to go get a GED and get a welding certificate and be making $100,000 in 8 months. Now, not every opportunity is going to be open to you, but because every opportunity isn't open to you, doesn't mean there aren't any opportunities that are open to you. Too many people of my generation, the early to mid millennials, too many of them believe that because they're not exactly where they want to be when their parents were that age or where they thought they would be when they were graduating high school, they think the game's over. Or they think, oh, well, I tell them, hey, go get a welding certificate. You failed out high school? Go get a welding certificate. Go to trade school. Well, that job's not for me. No, it's just that work isn't for you. Because if you wanted the $100,000 a year, but you failed out of high school, your opportunity to make six figures is to go into a trade. But not just to go into the trade, to be good at it, which means it's going to require effort on your part. So if you've fallen behind on life, you're pushing 30, so you're 29, 28, 29. Do I have any advice for getting back on track, like financially, socially, etc.? Is it too late? No, it's not too late. You just have to want it. You have to want it. Stop eating junk food. Lift some heavy things. Go for a jog. Find some way that you can make money. Money is not a zero-sum game. There's always more money out there to be made. Go find a way to make it. Start your own business and get a line of credit. You can start a business and you can just get a $50,000 loan. All it costs you is the cost to file an LLC. Ask people who are where you want to be, that are older than you, how they got where they are, and then start doing those things. There's ways out there that you're going to make money. And 28, 29, 30 years old, you have no idea how young you are. Ben Cunningham is asking about feelings on the passenger side approach. I'm going to do that live over on Instagram. So if you're watching me right now, you don't follow me over on Instagram, follow me over on Instagram. We're going to have the conversation, my feelings on passenger side approach on a live stream over there. Maybe I'll just do it on the story. Until next week, you guys be safe. Take care of each other.